All right, welcome to another episode of Double B Creates. Today we are talking to our very first veteran, and we are very excited because we get to break into another realm of entrepreneurship that we haven't touched before. So today we were talking to Mike Dolbow, and he has a very, very interesting story that I'm really excited to talk about. So why don't you go ahead and take it away and pretty much talk about what we just talked about.
Cool. Hey guys, how you doing? No, I was working. Used to be an aerospace engineer. I worked for different places like Remick Defense, Lockheed Martin, Hughes, Boeing. I was an instructor for electronics engineering and manufacturing. I help people create their own manufacturing lines. If they were having a problem with the manufacturing, their product, whatever it was, I was the guy they called to come in and help. Problem is, I had a stroke and a heart attack in 2010. I was very young, and I lost my sight. And ever since that happened, I'm legally blind. Ever since that happened, I couldn't work. So I applied for benefits. I also applied for my military benefits, and because of red tape and paperwork, I've been waiting. I went homeless. The cool part is here this year, I put an ad out on Facebook to get a little help because I found myself in a homeless shelter, interfaith recuperative care for veteran families and services, and out in Escondido, California. And when that happened, they got together, and the true heart of veterans out there really changed my life. Since I cannot do my manufacturing, they helped me get into a room. They got me out of the center. They got a huge, Robert Garcia, that guy, he's really, really a good man. And he got together with Vetrepreneur Tribe, EC, a few other people, and they donated to a fundraiser I was doing, got me into a room, bought me equipment, got me set up to where now I'm going to be doing using my voice instead of my eyes.
So you're doing voiceover work, and from what I understand, you're launching your own podcast as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the podcast is going to be for veteran-run businesses or people that support veteran-run businesses. That's to show success after service. Also, I'm going to be interviewing veterans who are still on the streets, ones like me who, through paperwork, have lost their homes. They're sitting on the curb. They're in centers right now waiting for VAST, which takes forever. Veterans benefits sometimes takes years to get the paperwork through. I know I'm still suffering that. I have a veteran specialist working on it for me. But I want to interview those guys on my podcast show to show the need, and then interview the businesses to show success after service so that there's hope. I'm also going to be going after the politicians and the resources out here in California to get things changed, because we have the largest homeless population in any city, even compared to New York. So it's getting pretty bad out here, and I want to see things like veteran villages and transitional housing and things like that. So that's one of my missions, is getting that done.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be that actually sounds really, really good.
Yeah, there's too much homelessness right now. And, other states like Colorado, Seattle, Texas, things like that, they all have these little ADU villages where they build these mini homes. They get these guys hooked up, and they take the veterans from the centers into that transitional housing so that they have a permanent little tiny home. And, that's something I'm looking at doing now, with the politics going on right now and all the trade wars and, all that stuff. As manufacturing comes back to United States, I had an idea, and I'm writing it up right now, because I used to be a manufacturing engineer and set up manufacturing. I want to go back into that, even though I can't see. I want to go back into it as a consulting, to where I can get the manufacturers to come here and then put these veteran home villages right next to them. Because when you're in a platoon and you're working with your brothers, it's different. We're used to that. We're trained for that. So if we could get manufacturing to put a veterans home village next to it and then offer training, they go to work in the manufacturing arena, and then they go back home to their business, their homes. That would be a setup to where we can get homeless people off the street and give them training in a home. When I was still on the street, I wasn't drinking or doing drugs, but the desperation kept me. I suffer from extreme PTSD, so that was a big issue: is being warm, having a place to go, something to eat, find resources. That unfortunately out here in California, you get a sheet of resources from the homeless center, and you call them, and you got a 6-month waiting list to get in. Sometimes they don't even exist anymore. So it's a real big problem that I think someone needs to champion.
Well, that sounds like a guy that'll do that. I mean,
yeah, I think that's been an unsung thing for a long time, and something that needs to be brought up. And I'm glad you're able to bring it up that way, because, I mean, nobody really approaches it that way,
Yeah, everybody looks at homelessness and homeless shelters as, it's a dirty place, or it's something that's the last thing you give to. The people are all addicts or drug addicts or alcoholics. They're all dirty, nasty. No, there's whole families going homeless now out here in California. There's good people like me that went homeless. So I think the attitude and the what do they call it? My brain. Just the general thought of homelessness has to change, because in America, everywhere, we're talking every single state, the economy is so bad. They say the economy is going great, and everybody has jobs and all this. No, it's so bad that the cost of living in a lot of states, Oregon, Colorado, Texas, California especially, it's all getting to a point where you can't even afford a basic apartment. Out here in California, I'm renting this room for $600 a month, and this is a steal. Everybody went, oh my God. I looked for, if I have to move out of this house here, hope to God I'll have a veterans home village I'm running through a nonprofit, because the general room rent is anywhere from $900 to $1,200 a month. That's ridiculous. On most people that have Social Security or on disability, they couldn't even afford that. It's gotten to an issue where if someone doesn't champion it soon and get these transitional housing, you're going to have, right now we have like 250,000 people that are homeless in California, and it's going to go double by next year.
Jeez. That's like 20 times more people that are in my entire county.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Down here, you have guys sleeping on the street, especially up in Hollywood. Skid Row in Hollywood has literally a huge human emergency factor. There's not enough sanitation. So when you have a whole group of homeless people, you're going to have really bad sanitation. The rampant drugs, because of the depressing situation they're in, the stress, rampant alcoholism. And the problem is, without a relief, that sanitation is going to get really bad. So now we have a hepatitis outbreak. You have transients coming from lower near the border all the way up to LA and then in San Francisco, and they're carrying hepatitis and other things like that is just rampant because there isn't a situation for them to be taken care of. So now you have starvation going on, which is terrible for people with diabetes and the older people that are going homeless. You have hepatitis going on because there's no sanitation. So, where are you going to take a dump at? Right there. And then you have foodborne disease. It's to a point now where if they don't do something about it, there's going to be a mass die-off of homeless people, which, if there's a veteran in that, I'm not saying civilians are any different, but why, my biggest question to the government and the resources that are being minimally offered, why do we have homeless veterans? We were willing to take a bullet for this country. We are willing to die to serve this country. We get home and our country forgets about us. And that's something I really want to champion, because we give billions and trillions of dollars overseas to overseas projects, to foreign countries, but we put very minimal into our veterans. I don't understand this at all.
I'm in the exact same boat. I don't.
Yeah.
And it's almost like their priorities are backwards. You know, they want to help all these people, but the ones that we absolutely should put first, like you said, should be the veterans.
Yeah, they're the ones that defend our country even after our service. You know, if they said that I needed to go back out, even my blind butt, if I had to go back out and defend the country, I would. I have a heart for this country. I served both in the Army and I went to the Coast Guard later in life. And my whole civilian life, I served in being a manufacturing specialist for weapon systems, for ground-to-air missile systems, all sorts of stuff that I served when I was as a civilian. So my heart is for this country. I took an oath. Well, I also took an oath to take care of my brothers and sisters, and that's the reason why now that I'm back on my feet, I have a fundraiser going to keep the studio and my room going. I'm trying to get work. Everything goes back into my mission, and that is to take care of my brothers and sisters that are on the streets, because when we get out, we become civilians and we forget about each other. Now, when I was out there, if a fellow brother fell in front of me, shot or whatever, I would pick him up. I would run into battle and pick him up and carry him to safety. Why don't I do that now? And that's something that because they set me up and because they helped me get back on my feet, that's an attitude I got. Why don't I do that now? And that's what I'm starting now, is to do that. Gotta pull our guys and our women from the trenches of homelessness. We really do.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. My dad served in the Marines, and he's of the same way. Every time he sees somebody that's in the military, he'll walk up to a cashier. And it's kind of funny when they see it, and he looks at the guy and says, "Your money's no good here." And there's some people that, like, you know, they'll take an offense to it until they figure out what he's doing. And I didn't know what he was doing for a long time when I was younger, and my dad went, you know, it's just what we do. It's just something we should do. I mean, and being the son of a Marine, it's almost different for me, because it's like, yeah, I couldn't serve, but I respect the hell out of everybody that did serve. And I try to do what I can to help them. And I think what you're doing is what everybody should be doing already.
You know, we should be taking care of each other as brothers and sisters, even neighbors. You know, even in civilian life, you know, you don't know your neighbor anymore. Out here in California, you walk by someone, you say hi, and they look at you like, what do you want? You know, what are you going to do? You're going to rip me off? And it's just so sad that society has become so broken that people stay broken. And it's just like, man, there's more to life, you know. There's more to stuff than finances and where you live and all that. The human spirit has sort of been dwindled away with business and trying to survive, just survival. And, you know, it's time to change that a little bit.
So we're kind of in the middle here. We usually ask at the first, but where can people find you and what you're working on, like your podcast, your voiceover work, if they wanted to hire you? Any like websites or anything that you have, go ahead and throw it out. It's kind of a promotion to you.
Yeah, they can hit me on the Facebook page, you know, my personal Facebook page, and I just got through buying the URL. It won't be up for another, I guess, 2 weeks because I'm editing it. But I just bought veteranslifechange.com. And that's going to be a source for veterans to go to share their stories. They can hear other people's stories. I'm going to have veteran-run business section, which I'm going to be in, and others will be in that. That where they can find my voiceover work. Like I said, it'll be about 2 weeks, and it'll be up, maybe a little sooner. Veterans,
by the time we roll.
Yeah. veteranslifechange.com. And it's supporting veterans between success, every single aspect between those two, we're going to be supporting. I talked with a guy the other day, and he was a homeless veteran that was sitting in the park. So I went and bought a couple burgers, and I sat with him, and he was wearing a veteran's hat. And I asked him what his service was. He told me his MOS and his service, and we had lunch together. Now, this guy was stinky, he was dirty, he'd been sleeping outside, but he was a brother. And when I was in the military, I was stinky and dirty at times out in the field. I mean, come on. So I sat with him, I listened to his story, and that encouraged me. And it also, I think it encouraged him because someone listened to him instead of just watching him go by, or saying, oh, thank you for your service. I love that, but it's such a cutoff. Thank you for your service. Where did you serve? When did you go in? What was your job in the military? What happened to you after service? That's the questions I'll be asking a lot of people. And right now we have a fundraiser going on Facebook, on my main Facebook page for me, Mike Dolbow, so that I can get up things like a laptop, because I don't have a laptop. So I'm going to try to get a laptop. That way I can go out into the field and actually sit with these guys they're homeless and get their message out and try to get them resources by their story. That's what happened to me. So I'm going to do the same thing. So it's going to be all part of the show. We're going to be going to VFWs. We're going to be going to veteran events. We're going to be going over to watch like car shows and all sorts of stuff. So we're really doing a fill-in right now. And I'm putting a call out to other veterans so that they can send me funny videos of crap they do to each other, because we don't want it to be all serious. We want to have some fun with it. So I'm going to be doing that, just putting together the show.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good. So anyone who's listening, go onto his page, Mike Dolbow on Facebook, find that fundraiser, and let's get this guy a computer.
Now, what do you guys do for your business? What do you guys do for your personal lives?
So I'm in IT, and we have this podcast and a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is us being our stupid redneck selves. The podcast is basically just business oriented, talking to people. And then I personally am launching another one that's all hunting related, both
nice.
podcast and YouTube, with another one of my friends. And then I'll let him tell.
Yeah.
I work at a sewer plant right now. And we're going through a lot of firings and hirings, and so I'm working a lot of out hours and hating myself for saying yes to a lot of those. But yeah, mainly it's the podcast, the YouTube channel. Of course, me and Kevin would love to just do the podcast and the YouTube channel and make it our monetary means, but we're getting there. It'll be too short when we get to say that we made it. This is our monetary business, and yeah, we're actually both talking about this for almost 2 years.
Nice.
And going, we should do this, and then we're like, no, that's stupid. We should do this. No, that's stupid. And then we finally went, let's just pull the trigger and let's get it done. And so that's how it started.
Well, I can't wait to see your guys' hunting channel, because that's something I used to be into quite a bit. And now that I can't see to do it, well, I can see if I had a good scope, then it'll bring it up to my face. But other than that, now, it's done, but I'd love to watch it.
Oh, there's a cool idea. Go get big game tags, spot one out. That shit would go viral.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see that show. One of the guys that I just got in with was a place called Southpaw Laser Concepts, and they gave me this hat. That's why I'm wearing it, because it says number 22, and they're supporting a thought of no more veterans. Every 22 minutes, a veteran takes his own life, and I will not be one of those veterans. I almost was. And so I support them 100%. They're one of my sponsors that sent me out a hat and a few other things. So I support people that support that, because we need to curb that veteran suicide rate. And it's just something I really believe heavily in. If you guys have a product for your thing, send it out to me, man, and I'll support you guys. I think what you're doing is good. Doing a broadcast channel, especially the hunting channel. And when you guys get that going, man, I'm there. I am a subscriber, So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, we don't have anything yet. We're kind of waiting till we get bigger, more or less.
Yeah.
But we kind of like the idea of just promoting other people, and then we can bring people that together, more or less, because people that we don't, vice versa. And
exactly,
so we figured we'll just promote the shit out of everybody and go from there.
Yeah, Robert has me on an assignment right now, and that's to promote 15 different companies or different people or different podcasts. I'd like to promote you guys as part of that 15 to get me started, if you don't mind.
That'd be awesome.
And Robert, you need to jump on this podcast.
Robert.
Definitely. Yeah, he's
great at texting.
I've texted him. We've emailed back and forth and everything, and then he gets busy. So whatever.
Yeah, he's a pretty busy guy. I mean, the stuff he's brought out on me, it was awesome, but also the stuff that he writes. I'm learning so much from the guy for business, because I'm a greenhorn when it comes to this stuff. I can barely even set up my own equipment right now, and he's teaching me everything I need to know about business. And let me tell you, that his strategies are I can see how it's working. How everybody, when they get on, they try to do the hard sell or the sell, and that doesn't work a lot. So whenever I talk to anybody now, I always say, hey, even though you're interviewing me, what is your business too? And let's cross promote each other, because that is something that, I'm learning from Robert. He's a pretty smart guy.
Yep. Yeah. And both of you are, well, he's still active, but
yep.
That was one thing I heard somebody say once, and I'm not going to say who, because I can't get a hold of him, but he said his one regret in life was not joining the military. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? And this is something I haven't shared before, is I was going to go enlist, and the girl I was dating at the time had talked me out of it. Fast forward 3 months, she was pregnant. So, and I didn't go. And even now, freaking 10 years later, I'm like, man, I wish I would have joined.
That's the reason why I joined. I got a girl pregnant, and I thought, hey, man, I got to take care of this kid. I needed education, the whole work. So, yeah, and I was a little wild when I was younger. So they said, well, you can go in the military, you can go somewhere else. And I went, oh, I'll go in the military. And it was a good life. I always tell civilians, if they never went in the military, hey, they served their country in other ways. Through your taxes, through your job, having a career, taking care of your family. That gives us a purpose, the people in the military. It gives us a job and a purpose, because we're protecting that freedom. We're spreading it throughout the world. So when someone says, hey, man, I didn't join the military, I go, don't feel bad, man. You gave me a job.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, you gave me a job. And as long as all American citizens consider that, and they take care of their veterans, they take care of their taxes, their homes, they're being good to their neighbors, they're being good to themselves, they have friends, that's what makes this country great. You know, it's not a politician. It's not our position or anything. It's military and families. That's what makes this country great. And as long as you're raised in a nice family, you have good life, and you're not destroying America through your life, then that's something that I love, because that gives me a job. So yeah, thank you for your service to the country.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
You just bent my mind.
Yeah, that's going to be a promo we're going to push like no man's business.
Yeah,
there you go.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we support each other, because without our neighbors, without Americans, without that, we're not America. We're just a military force. But because we have our freedoms, and because we have what we've done to set up our country, we need to care for each other, not just veterans, but other civilians and other people in life. As long as we're united, and that's one thing that I really feel bad about this country right now. I'm not a political guy at all. You know, I'm neither way. I'd give my life to, you know, Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians. I don't give a shit. It's America, and the freedoms are there. Now, when I see a split in the country where everyone's not together, you know, it used to be when we used to be able to do, like, if you were this party or that party, we could discuss it and still be friends. That has changed. And that's something I'd like to see stop in America, and so everyone can become closer. I don't give a shit who you are. I care if you care about America and care about your neighbor instead of being upset by the neighbor, you know? My neighbor next door, he's supporting one party. Another neighbor next door to me is supporting a different one. And you hear them outside just screaming at each other. That shouldn't be in this country. We didn't fight for that. We fought for the freedom to be able to say, hey, I'm for this party or I'm for that party. That's what we fought for, that freedom. And so that's the only thing I'm discouraged about.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's so many, like, the two-party system is bullshit, but I just, like, lately it's gotten so bad. They're like, oh, well, you don't support this one thing that I agree with, so I'm gonna hate you. Like, really? Like, that's
Yeah.
so damn stupid.
Yep.
It is. And see, at work, they've made it almost a firing offense to now bring politics into it, because people fight so much at work about it, and it's just so stupid to me. It's like, I'm going to listen to you, or listen to me. Don't try to punch me in the face, because I'm sure we're going to start a fight and you're not going to win. And it's just, I mean, I say this a lot and people call me crazy, but, you know, it's like, I miss the country I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, especially in the business world. You have to be very, very careful on your opinions and what you say in the business world, because it can lose you clients. It can stump your business. So the best way to do it is, and something that Robert's teaching me, is to be very neutral to everything, and not let one side or another side infiltrate your advertising or your business, because it can get you lost in business. It can really hurt you. So anything I believe in stays in my home, just because I have to do it that way to be successful. You know, Robert has a lot of great, here I'm promoting Robert, has a lot of great knowledge in this, and it has really changed. You know, I went through my Facebook page and I started just deleting. I must have deleted like 1,000 Facebook friends that I didn't even know who they were. And, you know, they're putting up pictures of naked girls, you know, and I'm like, oh, nope, that's not good for business. Then some of them were like putting out hate speech and stuff like that. I'm like, nope, not that one. So I really went through that, because let's say a business person goes to my website and they see I'm part of a group I didn't even know I was added in. and it's a hate group or a group that objectifies women, or a group that puts out just negative shit all day long, well, they're going to think I'm that guy. And I'm not that guy. I'm the friendliest dude you'll ever meet, you know? So yeah, it's just something in business that I'm trying for. And also because I'm representing a lot of veterans, because I know that my Veterans Voice podcast, you know, the Veterans Life Change podcast, I don't want to put out there anything negative or something that's controversial other than the mission itself. Because when that happens and you get off mission, you start messing with your business, and then next thing you know, you don't get to your goal. And that's making money or helping somebody.
Or helping, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask this question. It's a little early, but you've brought up some really, really good mind-bending things. We ask everybody this same question, and everybody has a different answer, but some of them have been the same. Some of them have been very mind-boggling and thought-influencing, and so we'd like to see what everybody has. The question is, what is your idea of success?
In one word, I would say partnerships. Because without partnerships, you don't have success. You're a lone wolf. And you could be a millionaire, but lose it in 2 seconds. If you have partnerships and you're strong partnerships, you're well known. If you're supporting each other, you're well known. If you're well known, you have success because you have an income coming in, a steady stream of income. That's business success. Personal success would be from how many people have I touched their lives? What has touched my life? And what memories do I have? That's successful. You know, money and cars and all that, you know, that's great. And I would love to have it, and so I can start dating again. But, you know, other than that, success to me is the type of foundation that you build, the type of connections you have, and the quality of those connections. Now that's success in business, because if I get a product out there, I'm making a regular income stream, then it doesn't matter how much I'm making. It matters that I'm making an income stream to keep myself above water. If I got that, I have built something that's successful because it's on a good foundation. You know, something that I'm realizing through Vetrepreneur Tribe and all this podcast stuff I'm getting into is I can't do it on my own. And if I know a guy, like I put an ad out here recently to where I'm looking for someone in Escondido area of California so they can come in and help me set up all this gear I got, because one, I'm partially blind, two, I'm mostly stupid. So, you know, I don't know a lot of IT stuff, so I'm putting a call out for that. But once I get that person in here to help me, that person becomes a friendship. It becomes a connection that is for my business and for what can I do for them. Because I'm not just going to say, hey, man, come in and help me. No, I'm going to say, hey, what can I do to support you through all this gear and stuff? What can I do to promote you? And that way I have more success by promoting people than just promoting myself. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What equipment do you need set up? I'll blast a thing out like in 10 minutes.
I'm sorry?
I said, what equipment do you need set up? I'll blast a thing out and see if anyone is out there.
Yeah. I actually have an M box over here, but I got a Windows 7 machine and it's not working on. I did get the drivers for it and things like that, but I'm still having problems. I have a old Apple that's a pretty nice one actually that I'm going to be setting that up on. And the difficulty is setting up all the drivers, setting up all the just setting up the gear. I've got a really nice mic for the podcast. I've got two 40-inch screen TVs that are really nice, smart TVs, but it's so I could see, because they have to be about 2 feet and then I can see to do stuff. But it still makes it a little difficult. And I'm green. I don't know crap about, I used to know a lot about technology, and now I'm like, oh, I'm an old guy and I just don't remember anymore. So I'm trying to get that, someone young involved. I'm going to try to get someone involved in marketing, things like that. But the technical part of it, oh man, let me tell you, it may be easy. Someone's going to see this and go, what a weirdo. He doesn't know how to do it. Yeah. It's like, here, let me touch this and break it for you. So, I'm going to ask for help, because that's something that I realized you have to do in life. You have to ask for help, because if you don't, you're just like, you're the biggest dipshit I've ever seen. So you got to ask for help.
That's like guys, they don't ever ask for directions.
Yeah.
Now we don't need to have GPS, but
I don't need no help. I'll just sit there and see if I can do this myself and break the shit out of it.
And then a little spark and light on fire. Yeah, good stuff.
Yep. So that's what I'm looking for, is someone to come in and actually help me set all this gear up, because I want to yak away and annoy people. No, I want to promote other people and get the business going. I'm still fighting for my benefits, so I have no income. And I've got myself paid up until February, the first week or second week of February in this room. There's no way I'm going to be homeless again. I can't wait for the benefits to come in. I can't live off of the welfare. I won't live off the welfare system. But also, I can't wait for all this paperwork. Military paperwork, they're telling me could take up to a year or 3 years. I'm not going to be homeless for a year or 3 years. The Social Security benefits could take up to a couple more months. That's just outside of my living finances. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to get voiceover work. I've got all the mics. I've got foam in the room to deaden it out. But I just need help setting up that gear so I can get started on it. Everybody says I have a face for radio. So I'm keeping that, oh no, now there's new technology. I can get my face out there. But my voice, I've done radio before. Years ago, before I went to school for engineering, I worked at a couple radio stations, and I did station imaging. I've done commercial work. I produce with these new big monitors now. I can produce with Pro Tools and really get it going. So I definitely need some sort of tech out there that wants to volunteer some time to help me set this up, because once they do, I want to promote them, get them more business. They did me a big solid by getting me hooked up. I'm going to do them and get them hooked up. That's what we do for each other. If you can't afford it and you volunteer, don't expect to get anything back. But a lot of times when you volunteer, you get something back. Either a good spirit inside yourself or, like a promotion. And so that's the only thing I can offer right now, is that, because I don't have an income stream yet. But I'm positive, absolutely positive, that I'm going to be able to build something large if I keep on promoting and helping other people with their business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll blast out and see if anybody has something and direct them your way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
See, that's how it should be, just,
yeah.
Oh, you need help? Let me see if I know anybody down there.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. You'll have to jet me a link to this broadcast so I can put it on the page.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll, when we get the promos rolling and stuff, we'll tag you. But
yeah.
I had a question and I totally just spaced it.
Magically gone.
Yeah. Ask me anything.
Jeez.
That's a broad subject right there.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous subject.
Dangerous subject. What's your favorite food? I love pickled pig's feet. My dad was into that and got me involved in it. I had a really good dad. He really kept me up going, and he was a good man. So, you know, I got a lot of weird habits from him.
You know, here's a good story. I had the opportunity. I think that was you. So I grew up with a single mom as a dude, and I didn't ever realize it until my wife pointed it out like 7 years ago. She goes, "You connect better with women." I said, "I know." She's all, "It's because you've never been around dudes your whole life." And I was like, "Holy shit!" That is absolutely, like, I never even thought about it, you know?
Yep.
And so I like to hear stories about like people with their dads and stuff, because now that I am one, I've got 2 sons, 2 daughters. But like, I don't even know, like I have my 2 boys, and I'm like, how do I be a dad? Because I never really had one. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had to get in touch with your manly side first. Well, I mean me. But now it's like, how, what's appropriate to teach my boys and what's not? You know? It's
Yeah. Yeah, my old man, he always said, never raise your hand to a woman, treat her like you would your own truck, and make sure that you take care of her, and she'll take care of you. You know, I had 2 daughters myself. For a while there, I was a single dad. I got custody of both my daughters, and you know, they each one of them are different. I didn't know how to be the feminine side to my daughters, because I was raised by my dad as a single dad. And so it was a little strange, you know. I had there one time, just for a little story, my daughter came in and she says, you know, I really miss my mom, because she went to go see her mom on the weekends. I really miss mommy, and I can't get her on the phone. And I want a mommy today. I don't feel good. Please, daddy, I want a mommy today. So I went and took the frilly grandma's apron, put it on, and I let her do my nails, you know, and I went around the house. Oh, okay, let's make some, you know, let's do some baking. Let's do this and watch this show. Oh, your hair is so nice. Let's do your hair, you know. And I did stuff like that for my kids, because sometimes that's the interaction I had with my daughters, you know. I never had sons. I had a girlfriend that had sons, a couple girlfriends who have sons, and I would take them out fishing. I would encourage them to do a hobby, to get on their own into a hobby. But I also encouraged them how to treat their moms, because a lot of these kids that had dads that were rough, you know, that's the reason why they were my girlfriend, because they split up with their old man because he was abusive. Well, the sons turned out that way. So what I had to teach them is kindness, not to cuss their moms out, not to do things. Boys will be boys. They're going to do stuff. They you know, especially teenagers. Oh my God. You know, it'll drive you absolutely insane. But to teach them respect for other people, and respect for the things they own, and also respect for someone who loves them, especially women. You know, nowadays, these youngsters, they don't open doors for women. They don't say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. The B word comes up quite a bit. You know, that just very disrespectful. And I think that men are falling short in that area. They need to really teach their sons to be more respectful, so that they gain respect. And that's you know, that's just how it is. The more disrespect you have towards a woman in front of your kids, the more they're going to emulate that whole attitude, you know?
Absolutely. That's that was my biggest thing when I got kids. Started having kids, you know, like, we live in a world, and they say that chivalry's dead, and I think that's bullshit. But that's my biggest thing I'm trying to teach my kids, is just respect. And here's a perfect example. My 5-year-old son will actually run up and he'll push me out of the way, if a lady's walking up so he can open the door and hold it for her.
Yeah.
And that's so cool.
Yeah. And, you know, kids love doing stuff like that. And as long as you get them in that attitude of doing it all the time, when they become teenagers and assholes for a while, they'll get through it and still keep some of those habits, you know?
If you instill it young, it stays forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, all 2 of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show. And anytime you want me to speak or be on your show, I definitely will be there, man.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, we'd love to catch up with you again down the road and see how you're doing, see what's going on, kind of catch back up with you.
Yeah, we're going out sharking here pretty soon on my friend's boat, so I'd love to. That's a hunt, let me tell you. So yeah, we'll catch up on that one, man.
Sweet.
That'll be awesome.
We'll get in touch again for sure, and we appreciate having you.